All right, welcome to PuckChamp versus BA for the Dota 2 Champions League 2021. All right, I've not seen a huge amount. I've watched a couple of games that PuckChamp have done, but it's been a long time since I've seen Bait play. And according to the scores, they've not been doing too great. The only people that they've been able to beat so far is QWERTY from the previous series, and QWERTY haven't been performing great themselves, so it's not really that much to show up. But I mean, this team's got our boy Dendy in it. It's got Dendy. Come on, man. How can you not root for Bait? Even though that they're a subpar team, sure, they're not amazing, top-notch guys, but it's Dendy. Dendy current year per peg. He basically is. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know why he dropped off so badly. It's not even like he's really old or anything. He just sort of, I don't know. He didn't even lose the passion for the game. Like, he still enjoys it a lot. He still plays it a lot. He just, I don't know, just not quite as potent as he was. Not sure if it's due to the fact that back when he was a pro, there was a lot less skill in the game. I don't want to say that because people are still really good at the game, but maybe it's because there's like more players. The diversity of skill is a lot larger now. Maybe that's the reason why. Who knows? But even still, we love Dendy. And PuckChamp kicking things off. We're going with the Cottle grab. We went back until CSGO's over. Fair enough, dude. Enjoy the CSGO. And what is Bait going to lead things up? Dendy Pudge? Dendy Pudge? Dendy Pudge? No. No Stalker instead. Pretty standard meta stuff. Followed up with the Shadow Demon as well. So it was a pretty good lane setup alone. Because you can always have like the disruption, allows the Night Stalker to get on top of somebody, and immediately you get that forced silence lockdown. It is a pretty potent combination. We'll see if that is what they've actually got in mind with this hero selection. But I mean, Cottle is always strong, right? So no matter what sort of lane that's going to go in, he's not really going to get hurt too badly towards the later parts in the game. It's like in the previous series we just watched of QWERTY up against... oh Christ, I've forgotten the team already. Hang on, I'll remember. It'll pop back into my head any second now. I can't remember. It's actually left my brain already. I just cast the game. It was literally done only a couple of minutes ago. That's bad, man. That's really bad. Proper like 1 megabyte of memory in my brain, bro. Really bad. Even still, it was also a Sand King picked up there from PuckChamp. So that would be for melees in the off lane, most likely. We'll see what they want to pick up for Young G in the mid. Whether this could possibly be Cottle for Young G, who knows? I mean, some teams have run the core Cottle. It has varying success. I mean, if it's like properly a part of your team strategy, like you've got people constantly making stacks for the hero to the point where as soon as they have level 4 Illuminate, they just farm all of this crazy stacked gold, and then all of a sudden they can just have a Dagon and boots all online by like 10 minutes, and you can just start blowing people up. It's really ridiculous. Well, they might not decide against that. We'll have to wait and see. Just enjoy my coffee while I can, boys. Gotta make sure I drink before it gets cold. So then PuckChamp just focusing all of their hatred towards the position 1 on the side of Bait, which I don't actually know who that is. I'm assuming Dendy's still the mid laner. Gatsy, Watson, Say. His names ring no bells to me. Oh, bless me. They also ban out the Lifestealer. Meanwhile, Bait taking away the Lycan as well as the IOs. They've been very diverse with their bans. Not actually deciding to go towards the position 1 at all so far. Unless, of course, Bait have been rolling with like a mid Lycan or something for Dendy, perhaps. I'm not too sure. And they picked up Puck a couple of times. They've also gone for like a couple of Pangos, some Clinks. One of the heroes that are successful anyway. To pick up the Medusa. Well, they banned the Medusa, I should say. So finally one little sort of interaction towards crit. And they're going to go for the Disruptor themselves. So, okay, they got their support duo already. The Shadow Demon, Disruptor. So the Disruptor will be the 5, Demon will be the 4. Night Stalker, most likely going to be the 3. Could still be put onto like the mid lane, perhaps, if that is what they want to go for. Can be effective in those areas. Obviously, they're still like... They can move it around in whichever role was actually going to work out best. All depending on what sort of lineup that PuckChamp want to go with. Plenty of time to work with it still. They actually do go for the Sven as their position 1 carry here. So, okay, maybe they would feel alright then putting the Kotl was the 5, because then you just have the Chakra spam onto the Sven, and he could just throw Stormhammers left, right, and center, and just secure CS and out and harass the opponents. It is pretty potent lane pairing. So maybe that is what they've got in mind already. See what they're going to pick up their 4th. Probably be their other support now to pair up with the Sand King in the off lane. Unless, of course, they actually still want to do a Kotl position 4 in the off lane, because then you've got the Burrow Strike Sandstorm, which could obviously set up for a decent Illuminate smack and do a shit ton of damage. Okay, they're going to go for the Vengeful Spirit. So, okay, yeah, so I think they are thinking this is going to be a position 4 Kotl then. The Venge will be the 5, the safe lane. And they're just after their own mid laner now for Young G. Ducalis is the 4 and Astral is the 5, I believe. I think that's the right way around for PuckChamp. Yeah, so 4th pick yet to come out from Bait though. It's going to start eating their reserve time. Got 2 minutes of it. So probably going to be their own position 1 now before the hero pool gets limited even further. Because so far the PL, the Slark and the Lifesteal have already been removed. So I'm sure they want to pick something which is... they're at least sort of used to playing in this current patch. Well, yeah, they've picked up Clinks a couple of times in the past. It's not been banned yet, but I think when playing up against the Sven, he's just a little bit too squishy and can just get absolutely eviscerated. So maybe that's too risky of a pick to go for. They also gone for the Monkey King, which, yeah, that's not too bad against the Sven, as long as if you can survive the initial burst damage and actually turn around for like a good Jingu stacks and get the heals up. They're actually going to go for the Luna instead. So this is a hero which definitely dropped off once 7.3 came out. Like, she was absolutely everywhere before that patch. But now you see her probably like once in every like 6 games, 7 games, something like that. So yeah, she definitely dropped down in priority for a lot of teams. But Bait are going to go with it anyway. So they are after their mid laner now. This is the only thing left for them to pick up. And I think they need some sort of extra teamfight control. I mean, they've got the Static Storm with the Eclipse, so they've got some decent teamfights for them already. Yeah, they decided to ban out the Mars. Not sure if they're like the Dendi playing the Mars in the mid. Could possibly. The PuckChamp also after their own mid laner and Bait taking away the Invoker. What's actually the heroes that PuckChamp's really been focusing onto their mid lane. They've grabbed Lina quite a lot of times. Obviously that's already been banned. The Tango's been banned. Invoker's gone. Bat Rider? The Bat is still in the pool. And that could be quite nice to get on top of the Luna and drag her out of position and then allow the Sven to just annihilate her. Yeah, Bat Rider could work quite nicely. Actually, never mind. Bat isn't that great because Disruptor can just glimpse. Shadow Demon can just obviously use the Disruption, just completely evade the damage that way. So yeah, maybe the Bat wouldn't be too great. Viper and the Ember Spirit are the final bans. Obviously, the Viper is always pretty damn good playing up against the Sven. the Nether Toxin, getting rid of his cleave damage, as well as the Viper Strike, just slowing him down to a crawl, just really affect his maneuverability in the fights. So I like that, man.
5 seconds remain.
Then the advantage is to bait now, because they do get to pick their mid laner last. And with an extra minute and 10 seconds of reserve time, so they can really cherry pick the correct hero to win the lane and hopefully give them a real strong lead. Also, we'll see what PuckChamp are going to go with first. They've already got a decent amount of control throughout the rest of their team, and they're actually going to go for Void Spirit. So it's just some further chase down. He's got reach to follow up the initiation from the Sven or the Sand King, easily able to get on top of people. Can avoid glimpse as well, which is another key factor, so you don't get glimpse into Static Storm, because that'll just net a free kill.
5 seconds.
Well, what debate now I want to go with to lane up against the Void in the mid? Not too sure, to be honest with you. They could maybe still go for the Monkey King. Maybe? I think the Monkey King could actually work. Unless, of course, PuckChamp are playing sneaky and they're actually going to put the Cottle in the mid and then the Void Spirit becomes the position 4. Which is possible. But they're using up all of their reserve time right now. They don't want to make any hasty decisions. We're only down to 10 seconds. Yeah, I think I'd be happy to see the Monkey King. It also gives them a bit of extra teamfight damage as well. They decided to go for the Queen of Pain. A very Dendi-esque hero. Not gonna lie. I'm not sure actually he does play Monkey King, to be fair. I don't think I've ever seen him play Monkey King. So yeah, makes sense, actually. But I mean, they've only got the Night Stalker as their frontliner. And I assume the main role of this Night Stalker is really just going to be about getting on top of like the Void Spirit or the Venge to stop them from actually chucking out their spells and like swapping people to safety and such. So yeah, it feels like a pretty squishy lineup here from Bait. Whether if that is actually going to come back and bite him in the arse or not, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's always scary though when you've got a load of squishy heroes playing up against the Sven. Like, this man will just melt you down in a second. If you give him the chance to, that is. Okay, Astral's actually taking the Cottle and Ducalis is on the bench. I thought Ducalis was the 4 and Astral was the 5. And maybe I have that completely the wrong way around, so I don't really see what advantage a Pos 4 Venge would have over a Cottle. Yeah. Seems odd to me. Hey, I think the game's about to start and I've just finished my coffee as well. Well, nearly finished my coffee. Got such an itchy nose today, I don't know why. Ah! Nose troubles, bro. Nose troubles. Yeah, I think I am just slightly leaning towards PuckChamp's current lineup in this game. It just feels like it's sort of going to be doing a bit more like a game plan to it. As Bates definitely just seems like... I don't know. It's not really ringing anything off the top of my head at the moment. It's still, they got PuckChamp going for like a 5-man smoke down the mid, meanwhile Bait are actually moving up towards the top. I've seen actually PuckChamp are doing this a lot in their other games where they just immediately smoke up and then try to get like a fast ward down. Actually, I might just place one up for that little bit of high ground there. But even still, the entirety of Bait move up towards the top to get these wards down, and they just go back. That's interesting. Do you really need to move your entire squad up there just to put down those 2 wards? I mean, sure, if anyone on the side of PuckChamp was in the vicinity, it would have netted a kill.
Just 30 seconds now.
That seems rare, though. I don't know. I think it would have been quite cool if they went for that move and then went to try to go for the wrap round. Obviously, that ward has just been placed there, but it wasn't there when they tried to make that move. Maybe they could have then got like a kill onto someone on the back lines there at PuckChamp. That could have been pretty sweet. Even still, they decide against it. Oh, Astral. Oh, SA, sorry. He's found the ward. They're just going to hit it. They're going to tag it together. Oh, they managed to time it perfectly. Youngji couldn't get in there for the deny. Too well coordinated. I mean, it does get pinged out the fact that they've got vision there. So I imagine this will get dewarded relatively soon. I'm sure Youngji probably got one coming out in the courier soonish. Actually, he wants to make sure he buys his bottle first. You don't want to like spend the 50 gold to get the sentry when you got this much money. So by the time it comes out here, you kill the ward, sure, you're getting the money to buy your bottle, but then you've got to wait for your courier to go all the way back and then come back again. It would just be a lot of dead time for it. Well, that makes sense. Unfortunately, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, so I'm just gonna have to call him a Night Stalker. It's like in the previous match, the guy just had like Chinese symbols as his name. Unfortunately, I just don't have the cognitive capabilities to actually transmute that into English. Vowels and sounds doesn't work. So I wonder what sort of build Dendy's going to do this game. Is he going to like prioritize a lot of points into Shadow Strike to try and go for like slow harassment over Youngji? Or is he just going to go big on the Scream of Pain to just go for like that burst damage build and try and net some early kills? We're talking about early kills. SA, he gets caught down the bot lane. One more hit is all he's going to need. He does pop the stick in time to keep him alive, but still the final tap comes in from Sikalis. So first blood given over towards the support. And they both immediately tip SA as well. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe he stepped out of position before that, or there's some like hidden beef between the players. I don't know. It seemed kind of weird. Seemed very weird. I guess he just slowly trading with Astral. I'm not sure if it's a trade that Astral should be doing. I mean, if Guesty was still hitting onto him there, it's a trade that you can never really win up against a Disruptor. Just the Thunder Strikes do so much damage early on. It's absolutely ridiculous. But it's 180 damage level 1. Which is pretty damn nuts. I'm just going to run straight back into him though. Going to carry on the harassing train if you can. Gotta be careful though. Melis is coming in, but he still hasn't got any points into his Shadow Strike, so not going to get him killed. Meanwhile, in the mid, Dendy actually got the grab onto both the water runes to fill up his bowls. This man is super healthy yet again, and he's actually sat really high up there on the CS chart, 13-3 to the 9-0 of Youngji. So he's definitely building up a nice lead to start off with. He's actually transmuted much into actual net worth, only about 200 gold separation, not that much. So actually, Melee's is really suffering on last hits. He's only got 4 at the moment. It's really, really bad. He's actually got less than SA. How's the position 4 Shadow Demon got 7 last hits over the top of the opposing Sand King? That's just really weird. And Melee's actually getting a lot of harassment damage here. Watson takes a fair bit of chunk from the Caustic Finale strikes. And they may be going to commit forward to him there. The Illuminate does a little bit of damage, but can't quite follow suit. I think Melis is always on full mana, because obviously there's the Chakra Magic Sustain coming out from Astral. Ooh, nice blast. Does a lot of damage to Watson. Ridiculous stuff. But yeah, if you had Burrow Strike, then you'd be able to spam that out a lot more. Another Illuminate hit. Ooh, Watson just barely able to avoid that one. I've already put him down to a real sliver of HP. Like, this cooldown of this skill is stupid, but you get Chakra Magic, reduce it by 3, basically makes it an 8-second cooldown for 225 damage. With ridiculous range and ridiculous width as well. Absolutely bonkers spell, man. Bonkers. Nice decent amount of stacks being made, though, for from SA. There's definitely going to be able to ramp up the farming speed of the Luna when eventually she gets down to this area to farm it up. There's going to be a fair amount of time before that. Watson! He nearly died again! This, like, iron behind your tower means absolutely nothing. The Illuminate spam is just too damn strong. They have to actually drag the whole creep wave away. But even still, the actual CS difference between Watson and Corette, they're pretty damn similar at this point. Despite the fact of how badly Watson is just getting harassed out. It must be so demoralizing for him. Every single time he shows a glimmer of himself, he gets whacked by a bajillion damage. And, well, Dendy actually manages to snipe a free kill there onto Melez, who is farming up the creeps. Just drops down a Scream, drops down a Sonic Wave. More than enough damage to take down the Sand King at this phase in the game. Did cost like all of her mana though. Just like a random troll warlord as well. Stuck on top of the high ground, as you do. He's so confused. How do I get down? What do I do? The poor life of a troll. Real sad. But no one's really like pulling away too massively so far at this stage in the game. Everyone's relatively even. I mean, there's actually 500 gold difference between Dendy and Young G. Definitely a nice little chunk of money to for a lead. Most all like insurmountable this stage. Nearly got his actual power treads online. What the sort of build Young G's going for? He jumps in for the rune, who actually ends up getting it. It spawns down at the bot, so no one actually fortunate enough to pick up that one. Or did they? Is the ball in anyone's hands? No? What happened? Did he get denied? It must have been denied at the bot. I think Ducalis came in and just whacked it once.
Bounty.
Oh, he's going to get his bounty stolen away as well. Ducalis there with the stab. He doesn't even take it. He just denies it. It's still going to cost him his life, I think. It's going to be the turnaround stun. Even the Night Stalker goes for the cut-off. I think this should just eventually be the death on this Venge here. Night Stalker actually takes the last hit. I'm really surprised. Like, I know sometimes denying them makes a lot of sense, but when you are this far away, you may as well just take it, right? I don't know. It seemed weird to me. Very strange stuff. Very strange stuff. But even still, all three cores on the side of Bait are actually at the top of the net worth chart. So a really fantastic start from them. But even with that, it's still just less than 1k gold advantage for PuckChamp. And that's literally just down to the supports, really. Look at Gatsy. He's so poor. 570. This man has 2 mangoes, a dust, and a fairy fire to his name. That feels real bad, man. That feels so bad. Actually, a little 2-man smoke here from Young G as well as Ducalis. Going to head down towards the bot. Crit, though, is already popped his God Strength just to farm up that 1 stack. Maybe that was a little bit premature. If they want to try and make a move, they have to act quickly whilst he still has this damage buff. It's on about half its duration now. And the Night Stalker's not even going to step out of position to push forward. He's actually going to farm up the neutrals as well. So unfortunately, the first rotation from Young G ends up just being a complete waste. Not able to find anything at all. He's going to have to slowly plod his way back to mid, hanging his head in shame. Actually, Dendy's dropped down in net worth very fast. He was like pretty close to the top, and now all of a sudden, he's bottom of all the cores. I'm not quite sure how that ended up happening. I really have no idea how that happened. He's still like 3rd in terms of CS. He's not died a single time. 1-0-1. And yeah, he's just really poor. Well, actually, I say really poor, but the difference between the bottom core and the top core is literally 500 gold. So it's still pretty damn close between all of them at this stage of the game for like pretty much 9 minutes in. Astral, I think he's going to try and get one more stack here onto the Ancients. What is this? 1, 2, 3. It's a quad stack now. So he has just made it into a penta stack. I think that's a triple stack on the small camp, which Mele's just going to immediately farm up. So that is ready, waiting for the Sven to come over and take that up. And he's actually got God Strength up in just 7 seconds now. So you just know that's immediately what he's going to go for. Max pointing to cleave as well. Maybe you might need a Morbid Mask or something to really give him sustain, because it's actually going to hurt quite a lot farming this. But yeah, one cleave just gave him like over half a level. Yeah, he's got to be careful, man. Those dragons hurt so much. I think if he had the Morbid Mask, he wouldn't feel as bad about this. But this is real painful, because even the Thunderhide's ranged attacks are kind of scary. Jesus. Oh, he's so close to dying. 20 HP. So brutal. Epicenter actually gets committed up top there to get the kill on Gassy, but that man is poor as shit anyway. I don't think he really minds. His money isn't going to change. You know, Takalis also getting caught. So both position 5s die at exactly the same spot on opposite sides of the map. Mele's actually even TPs in just to keep their tower alive. Meanwhile, nobody on the side of Bait is really bothered about giving their own T1 any sort of protection. Now Crit's going to come in to actually finish off this stack. It's not quite as efficient as he would have liked, but even still, it's a big chunk of money. There's still the massive stack on the side of Bait's map to actually get farmed up here. So it just depends when Watson wants to make that move, which actually he's heading over there now. He's got the Mask of Madness online, and he's closing into the Dragon Lance. Maybe he's going to wait for that before he tries to make the play. I have to wait and see. Meanwhile, 4 members of PuckChamp grouped up towards the top. They want to try and get the kill onto this tier 1, as well as whoever's defending it. It looks like SA will display the sacrifice here. Gassy just watching in dismay as his teammate dies. Actually, TP's rotations coming in from Bait. They want to try and take this fight. Young G, he does have an Astral Step, but he's very disciplined not to use it yet. The Astral's just going to dodge out the glimpse, and he already committed the Static Storm for it. A little bit unfortunate for Gassy. I think you probably should have realized that. You're trying to glimpse a Void Spirit, man. That's just not going to work. I mean, maybe actually if this was a level 1 Dissimulate, maybe that's what he was expecting, but he's actually put 4 points into it very early on. So the low cooldown definitely going to be to his benefit there. But still, PuckChamp in the area. They don't want to just fall back yet. Actually, Gassy gets the spawn to them. It was the daytime. So no one else on the side of Bait is going to fall victim to that. Only actually lost the T1 and the Shadow Demon for pretty much every single member of PuckChamp in the vicinity. It was only Melez that didn't join anyone. Just down bot, trying to progress his own farm. I mean, he's pretty close to actually having his Blink Dagger online. And just wants to get the nice double stack of farm going on. Actually, I think he missed out on a couple of the CS there. The neutrals and the creeps just killed each other off a little bit. That was unfortunate. But even still, Watson finally able to actually start taking down this Ancient stack. So with that, he'll probably will just bump himself immediately at the top of the net worth chart. Probably be able to just buy up this Yasha straight away as well. And a little bit safer as well when compared to how the Sven was trying to farm his up. Just having to try to stay alive with only 20 HP. Completely opposite when you've already got a bit of HP, bit of lifesteal to your name. Void infusion. Epicenter getting charged up here. Mele's jumping forwards. Once again, SA is the target. He nearly got the disruption off, which maybe would have kept him alive. But still he gets burst down. The crit is going to just hang around. Not quite sure what he was sat there for so long for. Carlos coming in with the side with the stun, as well as the Burrow Strike falling in. The mini stun, it actually stopped Crit from getting the follow up of the Storm Hammer that kept him alive. Very, very close. That one beam just saving Dendy's life so hard right there. They still lose the tier 1. But at least that it did cost the God Strength from the Sven. Maybe they could have thought about going into the Roche bit if they wanted to. Actually, mind you, maybe if Crit had the Mask of Madness, they could, because then with the attack speed, they definitely got the kill, but it's a little bit too little at this stage in the game. Instead, still just a few members of each squad just having a skirmish around the bottom bounty area. Oh, the toy! The Tumbler's toy with the glimpse! Unfortunately, it didn't matter. The blink dagger from Melez was timed too perfectly. Avoids death. Even still, Tumbler's toy, man. Sometimes you see this item used and it's just so goddamn clutch. It can be pretty nice. Thing is, you just gotta remember that you have it. That's the main thing. But tier 1 of the bot finally ends up falling down. Ends up lasting a pretty long time, 14 minutes into the game. Normally it's gone a little bit before this point.
Dire should look to their top tower.
Watson now got enough money to buy his Yasha out, so you'll probably have that coming out in the courier any second now. And you just know it's going to be turned into a Manta. It's not really... I mean, sometimes you see them go for like an S and Y on the Luna, but... yeah, I think it probably would still be the Manta style build. Just the illusions with the glaives are just too damn strong. Especially when you start pushing into the buildings. And then you also have the Shadow Demon on you as well to make even more illusions. And then it's just like base sieges become so hard for the opposing squad. Because any single time you get close, you just get a million glaives fly to your face. Cancelling blink daggers, cancelling everything. Cancelling your life sometimes. Both squads pretty much got the same sort of idea. Sat on the opposite side of the map, set up for kill with Melez. Now popping his ultimate, immediately dives straight onto the Queen of Pain. The disruption actually used onto the Sand King instead, rather defensive. Now immediately the Void Spirit's onto Dendi. He's getting pretty low, he needs a save. He drops the ultimate to push the Sven back. That'll probably keep him alive. He will manage to avoid death. But it looks like every single person in this skirmish just survives. Nobody gets caught. It does just be like a sort of even trade of skills. I mean, maybe actually is slightly favouring PuckChamp, seeing as that it was just the Epi that they used. Compared to the Sonic Wave, the Demonic Purge, as well as the Darkness from the Night Stalker as well. What's actually the name of the skill? Dark Ascension, that's the one. But now, PuckChamp actually going to move into the Roche Pit with the God Strength enabled. And there is no vision in this area at all for bait. So they haven't got a clue that this is going on right now. And are they actually going to bother giving the Aegis over towards crit? Or will they give it to Young G? I think they probably give it to Young G, right? Yeah. Not much point crit having it at this stage in the game. As he's just pretty much going to be focused up farming, and he's already a tanky ass boy himself, so the chances that he'll actually get gone enough to be taken out the map is pretty difficult. But your Young G is the one that's going to be flying in there left, right, and center, causing so much havoc. So his chance of dying is significantly more increased.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower.
The net worth advantage for PuckChamp just actually keeps on getting bigger. Now sitting around 3,000 to 4,000 gold into their favour. And it's kind of surprising. I mean, obviously the farming speed of the Sven and the Luna is pretty sort of equaled. I mean, as you can see, their net worth is almost identical there. So it's really just the other cores that are sort of hindering that. Dendi quite far behind. I'm still not quite sure how Dendi dropped off so quickly. Like, he's still not died a single time. He had like second most CS after the laning phase. He had a kill and an assist as well. And yet, yeah, his net worth was just nowhere near where you would thought it would be. It was quite weird. But it looks like PuckChamp gathering around this tier 2. Maybe they're just expecting someone from bait to step out of position. They could try and net a free kill. But no one going to fall prey to such a trap. Not this time. Yes, they do actually get the scan connection there onto SA to sat in the trees.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But Orchid online for the Cottle. Most Cottles just go for like the standard Veil into Dagon build in this current patch. But this Orchid is kind of interesting. I mean, it definitely makes sense. It allows you to try and get a decent lockdown on the Queen of Pain. Stop her from just hopping in and out of the fights. You get that silence on her, which would be pretty effective. Even kind of good against the Shadow Demon as well. Stops the disruption save for a lot of their teammates. Well, you do. I think the Queen of Pain is still just like the primary target for this Orchid. And Dendi's only just finished his own, by the way. It's like he's just barely ahead of the Cole. Obviously, it is a Cole for a support. One of the fastest farming heroes in the game. It's just ridiculously how easy it is. Oh, the jump force for Young G. He's got the grab there onto Gatsy. Meanwhile, though, Deadly trades places. They both silence each other up. The swap actually comes out, as well as the glimpse backwards there onto Ducalis. Young G just chucks down the Yule Scepter grab onto Watson. But again, no teams really want to commit too hard for this. But the Young G's trying to chase Gatsy. And it looks like we'll find it. Actually gets the Static Storm connection. But there's no other sort of follow-up from Bait. Everyone else is too far away. Dendy's trying to focus around with the Sand King, but they're just trading around with each other. Now the Night Stalker on top of the two of them. The Silence is doing a lot. Carlos will be the first casualty to fall, but immediately Den follows it, as well as Watson. The two main cause side of Bait just get destroyed immediately. SA barely able to survive it himself. He will eventually fall down. And it's just the Aegis Death there onto the Void Spirit. And the kill onto the Venge. It's just the Night Stalker left alive for the side of Bait. He needs to sat above the trees in dismay as his whole team just died around him. And this could just be a free tier 2 falling down here. There is a glyph available for Bait, but I'm not feeling the need to pop it. And actually the glyph, the backdoor protection, just comes online to keep it alive for a few extra seconds, but the creep wave quickly comes in to allow the finish. So that was a pretty chaotic fight. Like, Bait just seemed really split up, especially dropping the Static Storm just on the Void Spirit solo with no one else around to actually do any damage. So all for nothing, really. And now 8,000 gold lead into PuckChamp's favour. Bait really starting to fall behind now. I mean, Watson's still up there. After that whole engagement, it's only still about 1,000 gold behind his counterpart of Sven, which isn't terrible. And he's trying to build into his own BKB. Well, I imagine that's probably the same item choice for Crit next. He's got his S and Y and Echo. I think that's probably finished. Yeah, finished BKB. About to get delivered for himself. So now they could go back into another fight yet again and have an advantage. Actually, the BKB from the Night Stalker just gets forced out from the solo Young G. I guess he just wasn't too sure if there was any other members from PuckChamp hanging around in the area. Wanted to play it a bit safe. Decides to fall back. You see how scared Bait are right now. All 5 heroes just grouped up in this tiny little segment. And the Sand King just charging forwards. They actually do a bit of high ground vision, so they realise that there was this aggressive move coming from PuckChamp. So they will hide behind the tier 2. Crit though, he's just going to immediately charge in. He doesn't give a crap to the fact he doesn't see anyone. The glimpse as well as the disruption, they cancel each other out. He gets completely negated. Gatsy's going to be the first one to fall. It looks like the Shadow Demon's going to follow him to the grave. Both supports on Bait have no hope of surviving that. All of their cores just completely abandoned them. Just like, we don't care. Take the supports. Just let us live. I mean, they could maybe actually go and push the high ground right now. All these TPs. Actually, the TP for the Night Stalkers are cooldown. There's one for the Luna. Oh, Melee's actually going to drop the solo epicenter as well as the follow-up from the Void Spirit. Watson, he just gets picked off on his own as well. Bait cannot afford to keep making these mistakes. They're just hemorrhaging gold and money. The rift between Watson and Crit just keeps on getting bigger. As Crit's nearly also got his Blink Dagger up. Probably after he takes that these creeps as well as this little stack, he'll probably have it. Oh, the creep for the Disruptor. Just barely able to survive. Just the first component of his Ags. I mean, when he gets that, it'll definitely help out. Just further the decent amount of lockdown that Bait will have for either the Void or the Sven. So they can't just pop BKBs and bugger off. Even still, it's rough. Oh, and now Night Stalker's in a spot above her. The jump forward immediately there from Astral with his own Blink Dagger online. Start the initiation, the follow-up from everyone else. Another death on the board. Night Stalker's actually gone for 40 odd seconds as well. What can PuckChamp do in that amount of time?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'm so unsure. Young G just actually cutting the creep wave right by the tower. It looks like Astral's probably going to go push out the bot lane, as that was getting shoved out from the Disruptor. Oh, up top, Crit. He's going to try and go for the creep kill to Dendy with the help of Young G in the control. They actually have enough damage, and they take down the Queen. And Crit, he's just going to sit himself next to this tower, beating into it. The rest of PuckChamp is coming over to assist these two teammates and actually take down the building. Now it's up to the rest of Bait to try and defend this high ground. Watson's got to be careful, though. They could just jump immediately on top of him. No, they'll decide not to. They will fall back. Roshan, though, potentially up in 25 seconds. We'll see how fortunate PuckChamp get with the timing. Also a double damage outside the pit. If Roche just spawns immediately, then that's so unlucky for Bait. Very, very lucky for PuckChamp. Depends which team you're a fan of. Tells a completely different story about what's happening in this game. Roshan, ooh, pretty long spawn timer. 2.5 minutes away. Not going to be up anytime soon. Youngji even just giving the bottle over towards Crit. Allow him to save this for when they actually want to take a proper team fight. Or when they actually want to go for the Roche when it's up in a couple of minutes.
I'll take that.
I mean, Watson's closed into having his Watson's finished his BKB. Hopefully that's going to be the item that they need to level the playing field a bit. Wow, that scan actually gets the connection onto Melees. So they realise someone's there. Nice look almost gets popped. Melees immediately jumps off the side, but he gets cancelled out there. The Lucent Beam finds him as he's trying to go for the TP. And it looks like they will manage to find a kill here onto the Sand King. It costs pretty much every single member of Bait to collapse on top of him. But hey, it's a kill. It pushes the game just that little bit closer to an even standing point. They're going to need a few more kills in order to make it completely even, but it's something. Each journey begins with a single step. Wise words indeed. Nice hooker. Jesus. He's feeling very, very cocky to try and go for that one.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now they will suffer.
I guess PuckChamp are literally just waiting for the next Roche. Or a decent couple of pickoffs once the Sand King's online. Whichever one comes first, really. And then it also depends where the kills are. You can tell a whole different story. So you can just see how sort of afraid Bait are. Like, both of the cores always have one of the supports just sat behind him. Just in case they need any sort of assistance. Gatsy brings a little bit less to the table in terms of saves than what a Shadow Demon does. And he actually bails out just in the nick of time. There's a smoke move from PuckChamp. We're probably going to catch him off. They might actually find Watson still. That's going to be a very hard, rough loss for Bait if they lose him. PuckChamp actually changed direction. So he will manage to survive. Actually, Youngji jumps forwards. He gets the grab there on towards Dendi. And looks like he will just die. Crit even just eviscerates the Shadow Demon as well. 2 quick deaths for Bait. And now they're pinging out the top set of barracks. They immediately want to head towards that, as they do have a couple of creeps alive. They even use the glyph just to make sure the creeps don't die. And now with double damage to the Gold Strike, it does a hell of a lot of damage. The glyph just delays the inevitable, really. Keeps it alive for a couple more seconds. I wonder if PuckChamp, they could maybe push on for more if they want to go for the mid. They do decide against it. Obviously, the respawn timers are relatively short at this stage of the game, but Roshan has now just respawned. If Melees scouts it out... No, he doesn't. He just walks straight past the pit. Is anyone going to scout it out? But they could just probably walk straight on in there. I mean, they won't have the gold strength to try and speed up the kill. I'm not sure if they really need it, though. But they would have to be careful. Some sort of potential counterplay coming out from Bait. But then again, Bait don't have any sort of like one of those big Roche winning ultimates that just completely flips the game on its head. Like, no Ravage. They don't have Black Hole. You know, those sort of basic item abilities. Arena from a Mars. They do have Storm, Eclipse, and Sonic Wave. So they definitely do have decent team fight. But it doesn't like allow them for good setups, if you know what I mean. No instant disables. They've even gone for like a little smoke, but I'm not able to actually find anybody. Just the entirety of PuckChamp all just saw on the left side of the map, and now they will decide to move themselves into the Roche pit just as Bait put down a scan. So they're going to start heading over in this direction to try and stop this if they can. They've got to hurry up though. Roshan's already down to 3/4 HP. And I guess they're not really that interested in fighting it. They're all just sort of hanging around the bottom rune still. Roshan's now down to half. If they want to try and make a decision, they've got to go now. Crit with the God's Strength charged out of the pit. There was actually the vision. There's actually a gem in the hands of the Night Stalker, but the swap comes out there onto Disrupt. See if they get that kill. Down he goes. No stack sword for the entirety of this fight. Ducalis though gets picked off from the Night Stalker. The Sonic Wave comes out trying to make some space for Watson. It doesn't matter. Young G's on top of him. They take him down as well. There's a couple of buybacks coming out from both teams. Even Dendy's going to get caught. Triple kill for Young G. Beyond godlike as well. This man has just been smashing this game, and he smashed Bait as well. And now, once again, every member of PuckChamp is like, talk about jumping forwards there for the Night Stalker, but they couldn't find the grab fast enough. They will actually have to settle for killing the Roshan instead. Ags and Shard on the deck. Give the Shard and the Ags all over towards the Void Spirit. I thought maybe they might have given the Aegis over towards Crit this time. No, it's going to further making sure that Young G cannot die this game. Oh no. Gatsy, he bought back with the previous fight. He's going to be dead for such a long time. He drops down the Stag Storm, but it doesn't do anything. Dead for a full minute as well. The creep wave actually held back quite a bit, so they're not going to be able to kill this tier 2 anytime soon. Crit also with Silver Edge now finished up. Working on towards the Satanic as his next item. Just to make this guy even more unkillable. Like, Bait thought they were having a rough time before. But then once he has the arm online, it's just going to hit a whole new plateau of difficult. Even Young G has now overtaken Watson in terms of farm. So, it's just... everyone's just falling behind quite badly. Once again, we see a position for Kotl outpacing the cause on the opposite side. Even his own position 3 now. Just this hero is just too strong at farming, man. Absolutely ridiculous. It just gives you like an extra core. It's so dumb. And he's nearly got enough to go for a Cypher Vice as well. He actually uses the recall to bring Crit up towards the top wave. Oh, the beam! It didn't realise! Watson had no idea. It actually just connected onto the Sven instead. Out comes the disruption. Try to make some space. You go for the BKB TP out. He will manage to make it. SA also TPs as well. So Bait do avoid death, and that is actually God Strength used. So maybe that's a slight victory, perhaps. Maybe not. I wouldn't call it a victory. I'd say it's a minor good point. Meanwhile, they actually jump forwards here from Young G. So there's the recall again. Crit back into. He's still got his God Strength. Whenever core is duration, Young G jumps in. Everyone just loses all their HP. The Night Stalker barely able to escape. Dendy just drops off to the side. Watson, he's still getting ran down. He needs some help. He needs it now. Night Stalker's only one left alive. There's nothing he can do about this one. Watson's still going to fall. 4 heroes dead for Bait, and they just call GG. They tap out of this one. PuckChamp just absolutely schooling them in this game number 1 in this best of 3 series. And yeah, it's really... I'm not quite sure what happened. All the lanes were sort of fine. Dendy had a good start. Fell off for some reason. I still don't know why. And yeah, even Watson's safe lane was okay as well. Didn't have like super tremendous farm, but he was pretty much equal with the Sven the entire time. It just feels like PuckChamp were making the correct moves. They're playing as more of like a cohesive team unit. So really, it just shows you yet again, superior teamwork will always prevail in a game of Dota 2. Leave still well played to them. Take game number 1. Game number 2 will be coming up pretty soon. But yeah, if you enjoyed this game, please think about liking, subscribing to my Twitch stream, my YouTube. Any help I get, I thoroughly appreciate. Just drop a follow down below. And yeah, stick around for game number 2 coming up soon.